And today's guest is Ayush Singh. Ayush is a senior member of ALAP. Ayush has a career in sales and marketing. He worked with different startups. The sectors included edtech, shared accommodation, and hotels. He started his education with bachelor's in civil engineering from VIT Value, but he was fascinated by sales, so he turned towards sales, and he's growing himself in sales. To strengthen himself, he has done his MBA from NIMS, and currently he also completed the digital marketing because he wanted to lead the world of marketing. He is keen on exploring marketing from his side and playing a big time. I'm sorry, he's a big time foodie, loves exploring new things, and he loves long drive as well. Ayush, welcome in this show. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much for the nice introduction. It's great to be part of the conversation here today.
Ayush, I could tell you whatever I have information about you, but I would love to hear your story from your mouth because you know yourself better than anyone else in the world.
Definitely, sir. So, you have just given us an overview of my profile, any which ways, but I'll still start off. So, initially, I started off with civil engineering because I was inspired by my father and my grandfather, both of whom are civil engineers. So, the need to run after being a civil engineer arose at that point of time. I was fascinated by the job, etc. So I went into the field. By the time I came across in the final year, I was actually also working with this particular organization known as Make a Difference or MAT, wherein we used to go out to these shelter homes, orphanages, and help a lot of kids learn mathematics and science. And being in Vellore is in Tamil Nadu. I do not speak Tamil, I do not speak Telugu at all, and I had kids of classes 4, 5, and 6, so I was trying to teach math with no common language in the first place. This is around the same time wherein Byju's was going stronger. Byju's, the learning app, was becoming stronger, and one of the first videos that they had was of the Pythagoras theorem, where they spoke about the a square plus b square is equal to c square with a diagrammatic approach. Then that fascinated me. I was like, okay, this is something I can actually get into. This is a very different side of education that I can get into. And fortunately, the company did come in for a placement. I gave in the interview. I was not very sure that it would get through, but it got through. Along with that, I had five other options with different multinationals in the IT sector as well. But I wanted to begin my career, so they offered me an internship. I started the internship with Byju's, and that was a time wherein we were struggling to establish contact. People are not exactly aware of the name. This is the time frame I'm talking about. Byju's way back, that they had just stepped up into the world of education. The app, the tablet, all these things was something they were moving forward on. And soon after that, parents were like, let's try the IT sector once. So once the internship got over, I did connect back with TCS and spent almost a year in Bangalore, wherein I was working with a particular client, as you say, their account, as you say there in TCS. So spent a year there. It was again a good thing, but the charm of sales, marketing, being able to talk to people, help them understand, realize the potential. A lot of things started growing there. So I quit TCS. I came back to Byju's. That was the second restart at Byju's again. And slowly from Byju's, I got an opportunity to be working with Stanza Living. And Stanza Living was into shared accommodations. They were establishing themselves in Bangalore at the time where I did join with them. And, targeting certain areas, South Bangalore, North Bangalore, in that sense. And there was a lot of, on ground tussle. This got me into a lot of hands on marketing, not just digital marketing particularly, but a lot of things influenced in that manner. So that was one good stint I had, and we were able to even understand about competitions that were coming in, how I established myself as a market leader. So there were a good set of mentors that I were available with Stanza Living who were helping us lead things on ground. They were working in different cities. This further led me to move on to the next venture, which was with Oyo Weddings. So very few people are aware Oyo had a second venture besides their hotels. There was something called as Oyo Life, which was into shared accommodation, and then they had this thing called Oyo Weddings. So Oyo Weddings was wherein you come to a portal and it's like a one-stop solution for all your wedding requirements, starting from the place and a lot of additional factors as decor, food, etc. A lot of things depending on the place and accommodations. This was completely different. This was so far it was more like convincing someone to come ahead on board with maybe 10,000, 15,000 a month. Example, this kind of a ticket size, as we say in the marketing world or the sales world. Oyo Weddings gave me an opportunity to explore up to, from a single client around 1.2 crores coming in as a complete, interaction in that part. And the whole thing was, it started influencing me more. I was like, okay, there's a lot to learn in marketing. And this is when I started began with the idea of getting into MBA. So NMIMS, also known as the Narsi Munchi Institute of Management and Sciences, NMIMS Mumbai, they had an option of executive MBA. Took a dive into it. Right, this is pre-pandemic, just a few months before the pandemic to understand. January 2020 was when I began the journey, and March, we are well aware, March 2020, the disaster happened, the lockdown, a lot of things were an issue as such. And again, post that, I had a big drop in the job opportunities at that point of time. Came back to my hometown here in Jamshedpur, and then I gradually re-began my career again this time, and this time it was upgrad, which was into higher education. Upgrad was a whole different world. So far, it was convincing parents that their kids need to study. Right now, it was parents who had to convince you need to study because you need to grow in the industry. You need to upskill yourself. So it was a whole new world. Data sciences was taking shape. We were talking about full stack development. We were talking about DevOps. We were talking about a lot many other things. So till date, what happened with this stint at Upgrad was I started understanding more and more the requirement of regularly upskilling oneself to be updated with the industry,
Yeah.
not just from a job perspective alone, but I was very much influenced with the fact that being aware in the first place is more crucial. To be aware about what is happening, what are the changes happening, what are the new streams available. A lot of things influence in that part. Suppose that I am now currently employed with Coursera, and I work on various degree programs. And uh, again, in this same stint, again, I further decided to upskill myself, and I focused on a digital marketing certificate with Mica, which I have already completed. So, wanting to put in my overall influence as a digital marketer, I want to grow in as a field in that part. Uh, One thing that I have again, I'll just, I'm just saying it out loud here is I have not been doing all of this just to streamline all, or punch it all into my job alone. Right now, when I say I am an aspiring digital marketer, I'm trying to create an avenue for myself beyond the scope of my work. Yes, I do understand and use the same skill sets at my work, but monetizing it from my benefit, the skill set that I'm using, I try looking at an opportunity outside of the job world as well. So this is very briefly about me in a nutshell, from the career aspect that you wanted to understand, sir, or maybe the growth or the line I have been working on. And besides this, as you mentioned, yes, I am a big time foodie. I did try my hand at writing as well. I did go about with two blogs during my college days, and when I initially joined in with Bangalore. So I used WordPress at that point of time, putting up documents, putting up articles, a lot of things there. And besides this, I love traveling. I've driven from Jamshedpur to Bangalore twice so far. I've done solo road trips, you can say, in that ways. Driving all the way from Jamshedpur to Bangalore, Bangalore to Jamshedpur, rather than just taking a normal flight. So I enjoy my life one bit at a time. A lot of ups and downs, but glad to take them up all as a learning rather than just as a setback for me.
Yes, that I can see looking at your face, the glow on your face. That's for that you are enjoying your life. And looking at your body, I can see that you love foods.
Definitely, I do.
Okay. You just mentioned that in addition to your job, you are trying to monetize your skill to earn, maybe to establish your own venture or the entrepreneurship something. So, what is the trigger? What made you to move into this thing?
First and foremost, sir, I mean, what I realized is when I began a career, when you begin a career as from a job perspective,
Hmm.
so every time you're working with an organization, with a company, depending on your role or the capacity of your role, there are certain skill sets that you require in one place.
Hmm.
Agreed and understood. All right. But the kind of skill set that when we look at, for example, digital marketing, as I've done in my case, right? I see a broader potential of digital marketing outside my workplace, not just within the workplace. All right. And so that is where I talk about monetizing it in a different aspect beside the job or skill world as such. Because when you come to a company, when you come to a structured organization, so if you're working from a sales perspective, there's another team which is focusing on marketing. There's another team which is on digital marketing. We all collaborate together to take a particular project forward. That is how it works in any organization, right? So my major pool set or my major experience has been in the lines of sales and marketing, but sales as a major. So whenever someone is looking at my profile, they are trying to go, put me into the next role or the proceeding next job maybe, which is again on the line of sales because of the experience that I carry, right? Experience is on one side, skill set addition is on the other. It could go hand in hand. It could be external as well. There's no hardcore rule I find that has to be associated with each cell. Today, if I go into data science, I could influence that data science into my job also. I could put it up as an external skill also. So has to be more than one thing that I am able to look and tackle. Plus, the pandemic taught us, a lot of us, do not stick to just one thing that you know. Be aware that there are more things you can be part of.
Great. So, can I expect maybe in few years' time seeing Ayush running his own venture successfully?
Definitely, so it should be there.
Great, great. Coming to ALAP, what
Yes,
brought
sir.
you here in this ALAP?
So when I actually initially had a discussion with Karthik when I was he told me about ALAP. So I actually understood the kind of framework that he is trying to how do I say to bring about to the common public or people around us. Right now, one of the things that I spoke about myself was I took up civil engineering because I knew my daddy is a civil engineer, my grandfather is a civil engineer. There's a lot of money scope, etc., etc. Let's run behind it. Okay. At the particular age, we are very naive. We are
Yes,
aware about only A, B, and C. Let's imagine no one ever opened our mind that there are another 23 more alphabets available which could be taken up as career options, which maybe it was X or Y that I could be more happy with. So as I
yes,
told you about my own career, I've seen that zoop zoop zoop. I've never been connected with civil engineering. I tried my hand at IT, but I was more always attracted to sales and marketing. So it took me some time. It took me some time to come back to this loop, but I knew this is something I can work on. I am interested in, so I'm happy doing it. Okay.
great.
And this is the reason where Karthik, when he proposed me that he wants to start a lab with the perspective that he wants more and more people to be mentored into different streams that they would be wanting to go into. Or, for example, when we talk about the recognition of these 9 traits, that is available, that Karthik has particularly worked on. And I was amazed by the understanding that, this was a problem I had. And I know more than 100, 200 people around me right now at this moment who would be having a problem, or they're not even aware. So that is what attracted me, that I want to work with this. I want to work with ALAP towards their overall collective goal. That is what drew me. He is able to inspire and probably accelerate a lot of careers for people, which is we are trying to help on. So that is going to be there. That's one of the reasons I particularly joined up with ALAP.
Great. So good to hear that. That uh, the value that we are trying, or ALAP is trying to build into schools and colleges, what type of
Correct.
changes do you visualize? Maybe in few years time, maybe 3 years or 5 year time.
Very important question, sir. I mean, if you ask me right now, anyone who's doing, let's say, a BTech is still looking at an IT job as a exit. After 4 years, I'll get into an IT job. I'll work for 4 years. 5 years, I'll get a abroad posting once. I'll mint some good money. I'll come back. I'll settle. I mean, not pinpointing anyone or any industry, but ideally,
Yes.
this is something we've all been gunning towards. Everyone is after money, agreed and sure. The problem is, I took BTech just as an example because I personally have done BTech in my bachelor's. If we talk about different fields, you talk about BSc, you talk about BCA, you talk about BCom, BA also, Bachelor of Arts for now. Every single individual student in their final year is blank. They have no understanding. Very few of them are targeted that I want to work with this company. Even out of those small set of people who are like, I want to work with this company, they have no idea why they want to work with this company. Just whether it pays more, it pays well, it has a good work profile, etc. So people, they have, they're limited to this much. Their thought process is limited to this much. What if someone told them they have a career option outside this as well? So that is where I first and foremost see ALA bringing the change, where students are inspired to understand, are they fit to sit in an IT role? I was not. I personally have done 1 year of IT. Trust me, I was not comfortable in that place because I was not able to sit down in a front of a system and only do the work part. I cannot do that. Maybe someone else can. Maybe so my alignment is different from the other person. But are we both sitting for the same goal? Yes. We're sitting for the same job? Yes. Are we both happy? Maybe he is, I'm not.
Yes.
So at the school college level, no, people don't think about this right now. They are thinking of the next goal. I need to start earning. Some people have families to support. Some people have different goals. But how many people are actually happy with their job roles? Very small. It's very evident from, when you step out in the morning during office hours, when people are heading out towards office, look at the traffic situation, look at the number of people who are ready to yell at you, look at number of people in the metro. Either they are sad, they're upset, they're irritated, they're sleep deprived. Where is the happiness? If you're not happy, you'll not put in your 100% effort into something, sir, is what I believe. I love eating. That is why, I am even fascinated to go and try to cook, not just eat. If I was fascinated with marketing, I wanted to get down to understand how, when, why. It was me. Not everyone has the motivation to take that jump, sir. Why they don't take that jump? Because they don't have a framework available. They are not aware of the steps. So when we talk about ALAB, this is where we bring it back, right? We want to first let these people understand, are the people who are leaders? are the people who are creative. Creative people could be towards developers. Other people can go towards testing roles. Someone can go towards being a politician. They're good at in that sense as a leadership activity. Someone could be leading into a completely different direction of graphical design, arts. Today, job opportunities are infinite, sir. But we're
Yes.
still in the age wherein our hierarchy or our parents or someone in the family is like, you take up science, you become either a doctor or you become an engineer. You take up arts, you become a teacher or you go towards politics as such. You take up commerce so that you can become a CA. Okay? A lot of stereotyping around what you can do. And obviously, if the audience is limited to thinking only till a certain level, they cannot go beyond that.
Yes.
Until and unless you open their thinking, you open their mind, it blows. Additionally, you will now question me, Ayush, there is infinite information available. Then why not? Correct? Internet is a proper maze. If you don't know how to navigate through the information, you will get lost.
Yes.
You open your phone right now, you start exploring one thing. Trust me, in the next 15 minutes, you're watching a video that is not even relevant to what you started searching
Yes.
about. Correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Whether be it YouTube, whether be it some Google link that you started following, whether it was news that you started following, like one thing, you click here, you click here, you click here, you get lost. So even while internet is available, you still need a framework. You need guidance. You need someone who knows, okay, go to this page, watch this content. Go to this place, take this clear, complete this certification. Until and unless the guidance is provided, even with the facility of internet, which almost everyone in our country today has, anyone who's studying in a school or college has access to a smartphone, even if it's a basic smartphone. And these are people who will have internet connections. So instead of wasting time on those, reels, I see reels as two parts to the story. One are the people who are monetizing it. Second are people like us who at night 2 o'clock started scrolling on something else. At night 2 o'clock, I'm seeing a pani puri wala bhaiya ka video as a reel with a song attached to it, and I'm like, oh wow, people to be on the other side of the reels, right? But content, again, this is a very detailed discussion that I'll get into probably in a later point of time. We talk about a lot of things, but just giving a gist, internet is there. It's a good thing. There's a pro and a con, both attached to everything that you're aware of. You have access, that's a pro. You don't know how to navigate, that's a con. ALAP can actually, help you connect those small dots that we are looking out for. And if that is possible, it will be amazing for anyone to actually first understand what they can do. Again, repeating, we want people to be aware what they can do. I'm not asking you to take a step with me and go in only one direction. I'm not going to be unidirectional for you. I can open up multiple avenues for you. I can open up multiple options for you. And that is what we can head out towards.
Great. I fully agree with you, Ayush. In fact, you are validating my learnings, you are validating my point of view, my belief. And that's the reason exactly. That's exactly the reason because of that I left my job of principal. Because being a principal in the college for 7+ years, I used to discuss with so many students what they want to become or things like that. As you mentioned, they told me, sir, I want to join an IT company. My next question, why you want to join an company? सर अच्छा पैसा मिलता है, एयर कंडीशनड ऑफिस में आप काम करते हैं, कहीं धूप में नहीं जाना, मजे की नौकरी है, खूब खाने पीने को मिलता है, खूब ऐश करो। भाई तू सुटेबल है या उसके लिए नहीं है? आई डोंट, सर सब हो जाता है, एक बार नौकरी हाथ में लग जाए सब हाथ में हो जाता है। और आप समझ सकते, यू नो, यू आर इन बैंगलोर, यू नो हाउ मच डिप्रेस्ड पीपल आर देयर, है ना, एंड सो
I see
मेनी
it every day morning. I see it every day morning in traffic, no? Oh, by the time 10 minutes into traffic, I'm like, okay, this guy, he got a blasting from his family last night, or he had a fight with his spouse this morning. He's taking it out on traffic here right now, and it's all because of work. We see it on the faces. Trust me, I'm over the time frame, I've realized. I was actually also associated with the art of living, if you're aware,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
So
I'm done.
I have taken up courses with them. I have done the online seva during the lockdown as well, conducting courses for. I'm not a teacher there, but assisting the teachers to conduct the courses and all. And after a certain point of time, you start realizing. First, you also used to get angry, and then you're like, okay, I have been in this situation. I know why he's upset. Let me be calm for a minute.
Yes,
And when this starts as a very external thing, but when you come to a job,
yes,
sir,
yes, yes, yes,
this same thing, it hits you that the person sitting in front of you, he's not happy, and you're aware, and immediately you can't do anything. A child wanting to earn money for his family members, being the most uh, dependent, people are dependent on him. He wants to get into a job, she wants to get into a job, and they're all restricted with these thought processes. A lot of things are there, sir. A lot of things.
yeah. And the thing that you mentioned, happiness, I worried a lot about that because we are living in India, a culturally very rich country with very deep and strength roots to be happy. But even after so rich tradition, etc., we are not happy. Seeing India at the almost at the bottom of the happiness index, it makes me sad. It makes me
One
sad.
more thing, one more thing that I've noticed, sir, is because when we are talking about ALAP, we ourselves are a startup here right now. But there's one thing that I always question people. We are all gunning towards this word called hustle.
Yes.
Okay? Someone who's been success at a very young age in a very short span of time, people are like, Arey, he hustled well, everyone should hustle like him. Putting in long hours, avoiding sleep, avoiding family, a lot of things people like, ye hustle hai. Again, this is a very big stereotype. Just hustling is not going to get you success, whether it's your own company, whether it's your own startup also. Okay? Today, if you look at it, 90% of startups, organizations who started with this hustle are still struggling to not lay off people. We are again hearing news everywhere about layoffs. All these startups we began with hustle, everything. Not everywhere hustle is not required. Sometimes you have to strategize, plan, and do things. Stay calm. Look at the Tatas, for example. They've established a legacy. Not one person has lost their job. Not one person had, a problem with their salaries coming in at this, overall, even down to the bottommost layer of workers who had to physically come to the locations every day, even their salaries were not deducted. So hustle is one thing, but not everyone is made for hustle. Don't burn yourself trying to be someone else. Don't just follow ki he did something, I should do that too. Everyone has a different story, everyone has a
Yes.
different capacity. Understand where you lack. Maybe you are a person who wants to settle down and do the IT job where Vijay sir and I are saying we are unhappy with, but there probably you could be someone who would want that,
Yes.
and there is no harm in that. That is where we talk about breaking stereotypes, which was a topic for the day. We wanted to break this down. We don't want people to think, ki, okay, this is correct, this is wrong. Maybe what is good for me is bad for you. What is
Yes.
good for you is bad for me.
Right.
And it's completely fine. We have to accept the fact in that sense.
Yeah. And that's required exploration.
Correct. Correct.
Good.
Correct, sir.
I completely agree with you. We need to be authentic
Exactly.
because we are a different, unique person, as unique as our
Absolute.
fingerprints, you can say. So,
Absolutely.
So we need to understand that because of our unique traits, we need to find our own path, not to follow the rat race. Coming to
Correct.
LAP again, why a student, even a school student or college student, should join the movement of LAP?
First and foremost, and as I told you, right now everyone is aware about information availability, but they are not aware what is correct for them, what is wrong for them. They do look forward to their parents, they do look forward to their siblings, but what I just mentioned in the previous part is they, or they might also be part of the same chain loop wherein they're working to feed the family, but they're not working to feed their passion or what they want to do or what their potential could be. And again, the kind of guidance, etc., that a school student or a college student is currently being provided is limited to a thought process, which is I don't see thing as a bad thing in any ways, but I'm saying there is a certain limitation in the current mentors that they are trying to reach out to. They might be well equipped, but no one is 100% knowledgeable today. Maybe Vijay sir knows 10 things, Ayush knows 10 things, but it's not necessary that all the information competes in those 10 things. Someone else could come in and tell me 20 other things which would be new things for both Vijay sir and I, right? So this is where I want the kids to be aware that look at a first a mentor and understanding and be aware that I have more than one or four options that I can actually look into. Trust me, what I feel is kids have to understand, go forward and just understand option A, option B, option C is good. Even your family told you that. Amazing. Your teachers told you that. Great. But do you see more options available to you? Have you spoken to someone? You might be good at poetry. If you're good at poetry, why do you want to become a CA? There could be more options available to you. You could go across, even in education, you can come across. Why are you wanting to just jot down because CA? Why? Because your elder sibling is a CA? Maybe your father is a CA? Maybe some a member of the family who's been doing great right now is a CA and you want to gun towards it. If as a child I give you that options, explore, figure where you fit best. Wouldn't you be happy in, putting in 5 more years to learn and then get into that, whether it's a job role or an individual career, whichever ways you look at it, wouldn't you be more inspired to step into that? So that is where I see that every kid, whether in school, in college, I just want them to be aware. Awareness is my first and foremost priority. Be aware of what more do you have rather than what has just been, you know, being passed to you as an information from people around you.
So good to hear. Let me tell you my own experience. Around 3 years back, a friend of mine asked me to counsel his daughter. I discussed
Hmm.
with her what she want to become. She told me that I want to become doctor. Obviously, I asked why you want to become doctor. Oh, doctor earn a lot. They have a huge buildings, clinics. People worship them literally, and so many things. I asked her any your role model or favorite doctor. He told me the name of 3 4 doctors. I said okay, it's okay. Just spend one day with each of the 4 doctors you mentioned me. She agreed with that because that was the summertime. She spent a day with each of the doctors. And after spending 4 days, she told me, I'm not going to be doctor. I will never become a doctor. Because
Exactly.
she got to know the reality of a doctor. So that's exploration is needed. And with ALAP, we are going to provide that kind of exploration. Mentors are going to provide the how, what are the realities of our trade, how you can succeed there, what are the challenges, and things like that.
Correct. Correct. Exactly. Great story, sir.
And moving ahead, why a school or a college? should associate with ALAP?
Again, sir, a very important question. Today, any school body, we do have a set curriculum, which is amazing. Every school has a great set of teachers, faculty members who are leading a set of 40, 50 members each towards a goal of success. Alright? Every school in the very beginning, sir, when we start with the lower classes, what I am aware of, they teach math, is a basic math. They teach language, English, because it's a communication tool required. One of the most important subjects that comes across is always this thing called moral science, social science, which always gets subdued after the first few years of schooling. Okay, if you come to like for example, I was in Jamshedpur. So in Jamshedpur I was part of Loyola school, and I had moral science particularly as a subject. A lot of things that we were aiming towards was goal, talking about being good, being great, being happy. Everything that a school tried to delegate was be successful, be happy. Today if you look at a child in school, they are very much happy on what they are studying, but they're equally at a pressure burden ki what next. They are so worried about, they're so anxious about आगे क्या होगा, what is going to happen to them in the next few years. That is what scares them. The biggest steps that people are taking today, one is, I think, for me it was first was 8th class, 8th ke baad, wherein I had to choose between economics and computer science. That was step 1. And after 10th, where you choose a proper stream, where you go to completely commerce, you go to arts, or you apply with science. Even in science there are certain bifurcations that you want to aim towards. So today, not just because you take science, you do not have to answer the JEE exam or medical exam. As Sir gave the story of his friend's daughter who got aware that I don't want to do medical because once I saw what things are, that gave me a shock. Now, what can schools do? They try to connect to the alumni. Maybe they're trying to bring down a lot of people to talk to them, but it does not readily happen for them. They also have a limitation. If a school or a college is associating with ALAP today, the biggest thing that they are getting is a ready platform for them. Their kids able to connect to a platform where one, they realize the potential, two, they get the mentorship that is required. They understand, I want to be a CA. Okay, I'll connect you to a CA. See and understand, are you compatible with him? Are you compatible with him or her? This is something which is important. So, from a college perspective, or college, obviously, you're aiming towards a career straightforward. So, yes, please, you need to have your kids realize the potential before they sit for the job so that 1 year later they're not cursing, had I done something else, I could have been in a better job, I could have been in a different job. Show them the reality of what comes in along with the career, which is what schools, I'm not saying that it is not possible for them to provide, but ALAP is providing them in a single platform. For them, we are helping the child explore and understand A, B, C, D, E, go to 4 or 5 options, see your put options, post that, go to the mentors, speak to their mentors, understand how their job is, how their life is. Do you want to be there? Do you not want to be there? Come back, understand, and then have a career path. Even if from engineering I can be a CA, I should want to do that. Even with a arts background, I'm wanting to maybe go towards analyst gradually. I should be aware of what next to do. You can always mix and match, but for the school and college, let your kids be major explorers. Every school applauds when their students are very successful, whether as entrepreneurs, whether as actresses, actors, politicians, anything. Schools are proud. This person is an alumni of our school, our college. Today, a school or college, we are able to give that success maybe what, 2 or 5 members in a year. Why can't we make that to 50 members in a year? Which school would not want 50 people from every batch of theirs? Might, every year 50 new names for a school and a college, that this person was successful in this and this field. Someone could be a anchor, TV anchor, someone could be into news, someone could be a journalist. Help them explore, help them understand. Schools can provide this value to their individual, every single student with ALAP. Plus they don't have to pinpoint into each of their kids. They have like approximately 250 members each batch. 50 into 5, I'm saying 5 sections, 50 per class approximately as a number schools.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
250 students individually.
Hmm.
You don't have to individually work on each student. We will provide you a platform to do that. We'll help these 250 fall into 9 different options. From 9 different options, we'll help them understand where to go further. We'll help them explore. We are not pushing them. We are basically guiding them. If they have the guidance, they can discuss with you again as a school, as a teacher. They can discuss with the parents and then take the required steps and process approach which is there. So that is why schools and colleges should be getting into this. Very crucial, very important.
Good, Ayush. Ayush, you are a amalgam of engineering, IT, and the marketing. So, and of course, you're, I think, best suited person to convince that school administration, maybe, or even to parents, because a person who has such a VIT value is a very good institution, no doubt about that. And you are a product of that institution. The companies you have worked with doing very well. And your master's is also from a very good institute. So you are a person of repute. When you are going to tell that college principal or the owner of a private school or college that you are going to get such thing, the chances of them agreeing to that point is very high, and that's what we want to do. So when you have you discussed with any college principal or school principal or the things like what are their objection if you have discussed with
So, very clearly at this point of time, I've not been able to communicate with someone because the first challenge always that comes across is the part of being able to connect to the member in the first place. See, when you talk about any kind of networking opportunity, any kind of marketing in the first place, the most important crucial thing is being able to sit down one to one with the person. My story might, as you said, my story might be very. I'm the most. I'm a real life understanding or scenario of what we are trying to gun towards, maybe. But till the time I'm able to sit down with a person, that is my first challenge right now. So where we are trying to connect through a mail or through any other channel, but till the time I'm able to connect down to someone one to one, I still haven't gotten that strong an opportunity. I'm trying to work towards it. If this succeeds, I so definitely I would like to speak to more and more principals, schools, universities. So currently, like I'm in Jamshedpur, I'm going to try reaching out maximum. I might gradually move out to a different city. I'll try on that as well. Keep doing that.
ALAP has two pillars, that entrepreneurship and the innovation. Okay,
Right.
so what's your take on that?
If you could just come again with the question, sir.
Uh, ALAP has two pillars on which they want to build to succeed to schools and colleges to imbibe that entrepreneurship and the innovation. These are two things uh, ALAP is going to work on that these fields. So, what is your take on
Right.
that? How much these things are needed in Indian scenario?
It is very much needed in Indian scenario. Let me first break down these two words into these two pillars that we're talking about so that our audience has a clear understanding why this question is there as well. First, we talk about innovation. Innovation means always bringing out something new,
Yeah.
something which assists you in the current process, something which could be a potential assisting opportunity in an existing process. It could be a new process altogether as well. This is innovation. Trust me, right now, every single person who is either connected on this channel or who is looking or viewing us, looking at us or our stream right now, this is because of innovation from someone that we right now, Vijay sir and I, sitting in different cities, interacting over internet and still being able to connect to people across the world, not just India, looking
Yes.
at it, this is pure innovation. Okay? The second side of the coin is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship means taking a lead into, maybe let's say, developing a skill set, or enhancing or monetizing something in a better way. For example, even I put across, even as actors, as entrepreneurs, these actors, actresses,
Yeah. Yes.
King Khan is there, sir. King Khan has been there for so long, but Sushant Singh Rajput came in. He brought about different movies, different genres. They have to pick what their art is going to be, right? So one thing is entrepreneurship, one thing is innovation. First and foremost, understand innovation could be in all fields. Do not have to be only from a science background. Please be aware, innovation could be coming in from any field. Entrepreneurship again could be in either field, even in the existing IT network. If you go and look at it, you have live streams, you have it on Instagram, you have it on Facebook, you have YouTube channels where people talk about a lot of things in IT. They talk about solutions, they talk about providing solutions, right? Again, why this is needed is entrepreneurship and innovation. One, I don't expect everyone to be creative to innovate. Break that stereotype. Just because you want to be an entrepreneur does not mean you have to make or create something new. No, an entrepreneur could also be someone who could lead with his content. I may be good at speaking, let me do a podcast. That could be something I could lead as an entrepreneur. Once I start monetizing it in a much better manner, I start speaking on relevant topics. That is where I could lead. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about innovation. Both these things are crucial because you have to break from the chain of your job alone. Stop thinking from a job perspective alone. Think outside the box. All right. And these are two different, again, pillars, because these might go hand in hand. These might go separate as well. There is no hardcore rule that has to be together. Okay. So yes, crucial, important in both the aspects. Till you innovate, you can't come into that innovation, something new. You can't develop something new. You're using so many things around you. Everything is become smoother, from transactions, vehicles. Everything has been an innovation around us. Entrepreneurs, you go to businesses, you go to these uh, restaurants. These are entrepreneurs. So figuring out from your own perspective, these are two things we need to gun towards.
Yes, I fully agree with you. And I ask this question is because in Indian scenario, these two things are being put on the least priority. Having worked in
Correct.
the education sector for 30 plus year, I interacted with different schools, colleges. So you can say there are chosen few institutions who are giving priority to the innovations and entrepreneurship. Maybe not even 100 institutions in India. The rest of the
Correct.
institutions are putting these things on the least priority, and students are
Correct.
being demotivated who trying to lead in on the innovation or the entrepreneurship. So I think there is a huge gap, and ALAP is going to fill that gap.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And I think the movie Three Idiots was a very
Yes.
relevant towards, when you talk about the education system overall, that we are not prioritizing people to think. They are more focused. There was a line in the movie, dialogue in the movie, wherein Amir Khan goes to the director of the college and he's like, what number one, sir? What number one? People are not talking about innovation. They're not talking about what more to do. They are more concerned कि project का submission का deadline कब है. They are more concerned कि exam का date कब है, preparation time कितना है, chapters कितने हैं. So you are so stuck in one single zone that you really are not putting in an effort on making something with the information that you have collected over the years. This is one of the flaws that we fall into, not just because of the system, but we individual selves. Humans have a tendency to start finding comfort zones. We are like, इतना बहुत है मेरे लिए टास्क. आई एम हैप्पी. आई हम इससे ज्यादा भी टास्क नहीं लेना चाहते. मेरा दिमाग इतना ही चलेगा. आई वोंट वर्क फर्दर. I stop. The moment you stop, that is where you're stopping yourself.
Yes. Yes.
You're not. It's not about the world. It's not about your family. You stop here. You stop yourself. Keep it rolling.
And again, the Indian scenario, parents are too much focused on that marks, grades, etc. Instead of that promoting or inspiring their kids to work something new, something innovative, something creative, things like that. So we need to
Absolutely.
change their mentality as well.
One thing I loved about schools is, sir. I mean, as a principal, you would have seen this as well. That science project exhibition, and these exhibitions that we used to have, and so many extracurricular that schools provide, where whether it is towards street play, art, acting, etc. A lot of things that schools do try to provide. But our parents are always worried, because back when you come back to it, it's always like, बच्चा पढ़ाई नहीं करोगे, 80% 90% नहीं आएगा, वो कॉलेज में एडमिशन नहीं होगा. ठीक है. And trust me, I'm telling this even though coming from two very beautiful, well renowned universities myself. It is not just the name of the college, it is the ideas you discussed, it is
Yes.
things you took back from those 4 years, 2 years of experience. If you ask me blindly, trust me, college के नाम से I have both 85% in both the cases, but मेरे को पढ़ाई को उतना नहीं याद रहेगा अभी. I'll not remember, but
Yes.
I do still understand what my professor discussed with me after those lecture hours, because he was able to delegate something to me, something creative to me, some
Yes.
information to me that I still take back, which
Yes.
could be coming in from any college in the country. Trust me, it's not just about the brand name alone. It is important, it is crucial at some stages, yes. But we always talk about marks, we talk about percentages, we talk about so many things. No, the more you are able to gain knowledge, absorb like I say, absorb like foam. Put a foam in water, it's like zup, has to absorb. And when you squeeze out, no, it till then the information is retained, the water is retained. Start squeezing it out where you feel it is most required. Till then, keep soaking as much information as you can.
That's the mantra.
Always, sir.
Yes. So thank you so much, Ayush, for delivering so much wisdom, your experiences, your learnings, and how a lab is a very right step in the right direction, and how it can help students of colleges and schools, and how it can help that colleges, schools, university, etc. So we had a great vision, and we are going ahead with, mm, we can say, with values that we want to impart to those students, so that we can have a great India. Thank you so
Definitely,
much.
sir.
and I'm looking forward to maybe in few years to see Ayush Singh as a great entrepreneur and a great leader in ALAP as well.
Thank you so much, sir. Good wishes to all everyone at ALAP as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Good day.